Well, what's going on? It's 2:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's still the 17th of May, 2023. The waiver, John C. Rosamond, California. Yeah, this is not part of the diary, but just for general observations at this point. I'm late to the game like everybody else. And I'm hearing the stuff that should have been in books. If it was in books, then we missed out on it. We have information out there over the past couple of decades with more of computer programs being better and better that could actually generate information and stuff that I never even realized. And because we have the current Gen Zers on the keyboards all the damn time, not to mention their phones and using various applications, they seem to be more up to speed and more adroit to what's out there and what's working and scares the hell out of our older generations. The older generations problem is we have a hard time trying to grasp what's going on. There was, and I had responded to this one. If I was going to be looking at one particular Gen Zer's remarks regarding Grandpa talking about stuff out of his ass at a rally, and he was being asked questions about it, I got irritated about that one there. But the problem is, I'm dealing with a Gen Zer who probably may be understanding more of the new technology that's coming out there, probably developed by Gen Zers themselves or other people. Excuse me, that the Gen Zers are more in tune with. It's like when the computer systems came out and the networks came out, late 80s, 90s, we had hackers. We had hackers. We had people who understood the language. They learned the language. And they began to manipulate things left and right, break into things left and right. We still have hackers. We have computer generated now hackers doing it. Breaking into computer systems, finding out all the damn secrets and exposing them left and right just for whatever kind of purpose they've got. But we had originally the hackers out there. We worried about, in the Cold War era, spies disguised and dressed up like us, going into secret places that we have and then exposing them to the world or exposing them to governments to make us more vulnerable or make countries more vulnerable. We had whistleblowers trying to get into the hack faces, trying to explain it to people and get their asses kicked because of national security stuff. But sometimes we had to depend upon hackers to beat the other hackers. This is the reason why I keep trying to tell people about learn history, because we see history repeating itself. It's not the new technology. It's the intent. It's the intent. We get newer and newer technologies for communications at this point over here, or faster computer systems, or more and more encryption, and more data mines out there, if I should call them, data vaults, where our data is stored, and it'll take either physical or programming skills to get into in order to get whatever kind of information they need to get out of it. And yes, we have we've written books, created movies, television shows about this stuff. We told and warned ourselves, us writers out there. We envisioned it. We dreamed it up. Guess what? Reality's here, knocking on our door. And we don't recognize it. We're scared to death of it. What is it? We can't even see it through the damn people. What is it out there? The older generation is doing that because the newer generation is facing this and they're opening the doors wide open and seeing this potential for good and bad. But as older generations, that scares you. Now, if you have it like, kapang, 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 that's even worse for us. Because now we got people coming at the door, banging on the doors and saying, we're the law, we're coming in. Even the younger generations are having a problem with that one there. But I'm talking about technology. AI, artificial intelligence. How many times we have done something about that? Seen movies in different generations about it. Read books about it. And yet, we try to talk to the younger generation about it. Do they understand what the hell is going on? No, because these days, they're building that kind of foundation. The older generation laughed at themselves because of the damn situation. But the problem is, we're seeing it in my own generation coming to truth. We have technology changing the way we write, the way we talk, answer for each other. Instead of having the holograms, we're going to have something else. I don't know what. But we're going to have an avatar out there representing us. And it'll probably be thinking for itself. It's even worse than that is when we start having the damn robots taking control left and right. Are we going to have a Terminator situation? Or are we going to actually have artificial intelligence trying to help humanity out there? But what we're doing to ourselves is a different story altogether. We make these damn chatbots. Humanity made these damn things to help people better. You know, they said that about self-checkout. Give me a break. Take people out of the woodworks. And yes, I'm old-fashioned on that one because I got used to it. I lived in the era. But now I'm on the edge of the new generation's their dream, my generation's nightmare. If I was their age a long time ago, let's just say if I had been 20 years old now, I probably would have been up to speed on this shit. I haven't been, but now I got to deal with it. Speaking of reality check, give me a second here. Quick dose of reality is regarding these chatbots and artificial intelligence when it's becoming national security stuff. Can we trust AI to store up all the human knowledge we have? Can we understand that AI is going to be the tool we're going to be using, hopefully not to destroy ourselves, but enhance ourselves? Well, we kept saying that to some of the other technologies too, like Photoshop when it came out. Just how many weird stuff came out of that damn thing. No matter how creative it was nauseating as hell. You ever heard of a thing called tryptophobia? I never heard of it until I started researching in the past few years. Repetitive designs. Imagine having an AI doing that to us, one way or another, either by human manipulation or by its own. Look at this. This is a pattern concerning about a paper towel. This is a paper towel with this kind of pattern on it. Can you see it? Close up. A little further away. But you are seeing this thing, right? Tryptophobia is something to think of a repetitive pattern like that, freaking people out left and right because of some kind of biological nature thing going on inside of us. Technology with the AI is doing the same damn shit to me. Growing up with a lot of writers' opinions and dreams and books and everything else in the creative realm kind of made me either appreciate the new future and then seeing the future here right now, scaring the living crap out of me because it wasn't what I imagined or envisioned. Me as an old fart. Me as a grandpa. Grandpas, yeah, we heard about them. We talked about them in different places with different people. Grandpas and grandmas. We read stories. We read the science fiction books. We read the comics. We grew up on this stuff. It was supposed to be the future that we were looking forward towards, or maybe scared as hell of. But we've got a different version of the future that's scaring the hell out of us right now as it is. And we're seeing it happen, and we don't like it. Only because deep down inside we probably feared. We feared. And now it's here. Having having a program to write a novel. Bad enough having to write an essay. We were talking about this damn thing for months on this one. Programs out there that students would use to write their own essays. I'm like, the computer would draw upon all manners of sources and then create a thesis, an outline, a draft, a body of paragraphs, conclusion, works cited, bibliographies. Some of the professors can't tell whether or not it's human or artificial. That's the scariest damn shit. Having a student go into a university and give them a computer program. How would a professor understand that this was generated by a computer and not by a human? He would probably look for the telltale signs of human. I mean, we all have those little personalities we add into it, unless we're going to be really dry as hell, and the computers are probably dry as hell. But to add human behavior into it, is that quantifiable? Is that able to be measured by zeros and ones? I have a different writing style for myself. I have a tendency of doing it into a story format every time I do an essay. Because I need to make sure that I am, besides entertaining the professor, I am educating the professor in the way I know how I'm seeing it. I've written reports a long time ago as a kid, growing up and going into college and being like a damn computer spilling out the information in a data form. But not putting personality into the situation, not writing it up with creativity. But a computer doing creativity? Zeros and ones being able to be creative? I am not so sure what the hell we're doing anymore. I'll go to my college courses, and I probably would have to talk to the professors about this one. I would have to ask them, how would they feel? How would they feel about this new generation, this new thing that we've got going on? And what's their response? What's going to be the official response from the old guard? We have the new guard with the new technology going to be using this stuff. If not pushing it through different courses between K and 12, it's the college courses that the professors really got to be on guard because they're old guard. We're teaching old guard ways of writing stuff, and this is the new guard coming in. These are the new paladins. We got used to the old knights with the shiny armor and the plating all around, and these guys are coming in with Kevlar vests, with a pen, ready to kick ass, and yet in their one particular pocket to pull it out and said, "Okay, computer, let's get this essay generated. Put it into a PDF form, and then send it over to this terminal over here to get it printed out." Roger, Dodger. Boom! Within microseconds. Boom! Here you go, Professor. What's with the Kevlar vest? Oh, no, this is not Kevlar. This is technology here. I got gadget here, gadget here. Power charges all around the place. Solar charger in the bag over here. And, communications right here. This is the new vest for the new day of the 21st century. Pocket protectors are out, Professor. Pens and paper are out. Technology rules. One of these here days, we're going to be introduced to something called electromagnetic energy. We're going to be introduced to an EMT, or an EMG actually. Electromagnetic blast from something. And let's see how all the electronics get fried out at that point. We have to keep our technology away from heavy magnetized items because magnetics have a way of disrupting the zeros and ones since they are currently, unless we've got new technology to store them in different forms of data. Let me show you something. It takes electricity, it takes electromagnetic energy to encode the information into the drives, but it's still transferable. But you add a strong magnetic source to this thing, it sucks out everything because it's held in a flux. Disrupt that flux, you got nothing. You got a physical item. That's it. What scares the hell out of me is we're all really depending upon those fluxes. But now they got to think for ourselves, write for ourselves. So do we have to dream and breathe for ourselves? I'd like to send this particular video over to the professors over at my college. I'd like to get a response out of these guys. I'd like to get a response out of Antelope Valley College, and I've been going there for several years. I want to know, as a student, going into classes for maybe the final semester or two, will you be accepting resumes from a computer? Or do you still need the human touch? And can you decipher, discern, interpret, identify what makes it human and what makes it computer when you have a piece of paper in front of you? And it says on the corner of who's it from for which particular class and the date and the subject, and then you have the title lines, and then you have the thesis, and then you have the rest of the body of the essay. Are you going to be able to take a look at the writer's style and understand if it's computer or not? Are you trained in that, in the artificial intelligence? That you're going to be able to decipher human creativity versus computer artificial intelligence. I'm 57 years old. I thought I've seen enough, read enough. I haven't. I'm an old fart. But probably middle-aged or probably younger because I've seen older people. Older generations. They're probably also having a conniption fit over this. So I'm wondering if any one of the old guard out there, I'm not talking about the Gen Zers and I'm not talking about the paladins out there. I'm talking about the old knights. How are you guys going to be able to deal and treat this? Because right now it still scares the living crap out of me. And I haven't used this technology, but I'm reading about it and I'm listening to stories about it. And even our generation has a problem with the damn thing. I don't know how else to talk about it on this one here. So I'm going to send the YouTube out to administration, maybe to the academics out there. I need feedback on this. I need this to be addressed to everybody, including the new students coming in and the continuing students and the ones that are leaving our school. Unless you guys have already talked about this one, which I haven't heard about, this one definitely needs to be talked about now. John Weaver from Rosamond, California. I shall put my own tag on there, the Diary of the Griever named John Weaver. And I'm usually found on YouTube. But I'm also a student at Antelope Valley College, coming back in for the fall of the 23rd. I'll be seeing you on the campus.